Story is on what education will look like. We've been all talking about technology and what education is all about. How it is relevant to us today is that what we do in schools today will impact the children tomorrow. And as we all know that technology has come here to stay and we can't get away with it. But how not to avoid it, but how to use it and without any cost. This is again a story. It's not my own story. I picked it up from the net. As Mr. Dheeraj said, that whatever we see, we share and we learn from there. This story is a work of fiction and none of this has happened really, but it is how education might unfold in future. And where real institutional names have been used, it is just to give it a feel of authenticity. Next, please. No, you've gone way ahead. Let's go back. Yeah, next. Yeah. As an assignment in his English class, Gopi has to create a visual poem. He finds a piece from Carol in California. Now UWC is the name of the university. So what does he do? He finds that there's a piece from Carol in California, the mountain layers down, indifferent to the lives past its shadows. And it is licensed with a Creative Common Attribution Share Alike license. All these are names of softwares and free softwares which are available. So what does he do? He bookmarks this page on DELICIO US, that is delicious, and discovers that about 40 other delicious users have also bookmarked it, including another English student who has written that this line reminds me of Cape Town. Next, please. Excuse me. So now, sorry, the name gets changed over here. This Wusi gives an idea to combine the photographs of poverty in Cape Town with a poem based on the idea expressed with an entirely different basis in Carol's poem. So what does he do? He wants to find some pictures. So he searches a few archives and finds them in the Creative Commons Attribution, again, share alike license on Flickr. So what does he do? Of course, he will give attribution to all the sources of this material that he has used as required. And what does his lecturer do? He looks at the material, assesses the creativity. Please remember, the focus is the creativity. And evidence of understanding key elements and gives him a A. Next. He posts his work on the UWC free content site. Like just now, Mr. Dheeraj shared with you all a site where we can all share our work, our own clouds. So what does it happen? Now it is quickly syndicated on other free content sites around the world. So this is normally through free systems. Now there's a boy called Chippo who's studying in Zimbabwe. Now what does he do? He picks up this poem from the University of Zimbabwe free content site, sets it to music, and in assignment in one of the undergraduate course, posts the music sheets and recordings of the singing on the free content site. Now, in the meantime, you have Fatima who's doing film and media studies and Chanda who's doing music in Zambia. One is at UWC, California, the other one in Zambia. They come to know about one another through the FOAF capabilities version of the KEWL e-learning. So after spending a bit of the time on video chat, using the real-time tools, they decide to collaborate. The entire morning we were talking of collaboration. Now this is using technology for collaboration. Now please understand that the story I'm trying to tell you, we are hardly required there. But that is the need of tomorrow. So what do? They also use video footage depicting poverty in other parts of the world. And using, again, Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike, they release their work under the same license. So as a result of their work, they not only get good grades, they show their production to the student center on a Friday night and contribute half the entry fee to a new project that is creating technology-based income generation. You know, just now we had Mr. Gurpreet telling us about, Mr. Dhillon telling us about the new kind of jobs that we need, and new kind of things, probably the entrepreneurship, the whole thing is changing. So now what happens is that thanks to Technorati links to a blog by John Hibbs, the good old new media company picks it up, broadcasts it on their TV channel, and donating a portion of the advertising proceeds to the media studies department. Now what happens, Moses Stories is a student in the Akal State University in the Philippines. Now he decided that he would use some of this work and create a multimedia tutorial on what? Sustainable livelihoods. So he's interested in the role of science and technology research and how combined with rural entrepreneurship. That's what we are addressing tomorrow. How the students have to get into that and then enable the peanut industry in Calibo to prosper and create livelihood opportunities. He believes that this could be a model for tackling poverty in other areas where unidentified resources await the local communities. Now, inspired by his work, graduation from ASU, he proceeds to carry out a piece of research and offers studies on similar sustainable livelihoods initiatives. Now, one of those diffuse communities of practice has a node hosted by UWC program on land and agrarian studies. Now, what happens upon learning about UWC's expanded recognition of learning achieved opportunity? He submits his work for accreditation. Now what has happened that all these electronic means, including interviews, presentation of his lifelong portfolio, via the key WE portfolio, he graduates from UWC without ever leaving Calibo. Now that is the answer to our children in the rural area. They don't have to be after school also. I'm not saying that they have to not go to a basic school and start using, but we need to train our students now the creativity and making them aware that how they can use all this for learning and acquiring knowledge which they can apply in their daily life and in their jobs. So now, as you have seen, this story fictionalizes some instances of international cross-cultural collaboration and is entirely driven by the students. Since morning we've been talking about engaging students. Obviously, when they're doing something themselves, they're bound to be engaged. And however, institutional processes of teaching and learning and assessment allow for it, even promote this kind of collaboration. This is not the only way education 3.0 could be manifest. Another is access to courses in one institution by students in another, obtaining credit from the home institution, then of course other combinations. Then the point of this paper is that can institution make choices now how education 3.0 unfolds and the impact that it has on the future of knowledge and learning. That's the point I'm trying to make, that we need to tap all the sources and encourage children more and more into thinking and creativity and using it and not having a mindset, you know, at least in India. M-learning, that is mobile learning, will take a long time to come because most of the schools believe that mobiles need to be banned. We are not ready to use them. Every child has it, but we are not willing to use it for technology purposes. We feel they'll only be misusing it. So what happens is the potential is very high of technology, including misuse, like he said, 99 ways of how to upset your teachers. But it is for us to be informed and have the children use it in a correct way. When they are involved, they are engaged, they will be doing this, and 3.0 is here because the 1.0 teachers cannot teach the 3.0 generation, and they need this more than anybody today. Thank you so much.